Hello and welcome to another video with myself, Rev.ArleneC. I wanted to touch base, or I was guided to touch base, on something that I brought up in yesterday's video that I made. And then it was something that was kind of brought back around in conversations. You know, what it means when I speak about or write about being honest with yourself, right? Taking accountability and responsibility for your life, really, right? For your role in the life that you currently reside in. So when understanding being honest with yourself, and it is a true honesty, like it's raw honesty, it is vulnerability with yourself, which often is uncomfortable. And as I've said before in posts and videos, often as humans we do everything we can to step away and not be uncomfortable, right? We don't want to feel any kind of discomfort or pain or sadness, etc. But it takes that level of honesty because, as we've also noticed as humans, it takes that level of discomfort, that level of anger and sadness, of frustration, to really make changes and steps to change and redirect our lives. So the biggest part of this is when we are finally ready to take those steps, to be honest, to recognize our responsibility in the life that we live or the life we're not living. It is not about blame. That's the biggest thing to understand. This is not for you to sit there and blame yourself and criticize yourself and to think that you're broken, to think that there's something wrong with you, to sit there and bash yourself. That's not what any of it is about. It is about recognition. It is about bringing to the surface, letting it rise to the surface so that you can understand why you do the things you do, approach life the way you do, think the way you do, and it's just, it's all about that level of awareness, so that once you can kind of recognize it cognitively, then you can move through it, combining the cognitive and the emotional, so that it can shift and transmute and you can transform. Often, what arises in that recognition is often we start to recognize the programs that we've played in for such a long time. And like I said in yesterday's video, right, we have our victimhood, right, where we play the victim or we believe we're the victim. And often it's, we continue to use it because there's been some level of benefit in it, even if it's not a healthy benefit, but we're getting something out of it, right? It's almost like, as we say with children, right? Like, even negative attention is still attention. Other programs that we begin to recognize, that often it takes time for us to realize that that's the programs we've been playing. Another one is codependency, understanding and recognizing the signs and the behaviors of codependency, recognizing that in others too. Another one is the martyrdom, right? Like, so much of that happens, and the level of manipulation that comes with martyrdom. You know, and again, as I said before, I'm not a fan of labels, but sometimes they have a place until they don't have a place anymore. Often it's just like, even when learning different modalities and understanding the energy system, right? The energy body, you know, we often sometimes need to go back to those labels to help us understand. You know, so we have like a foundation to start off with, and then from there we grow and we build and we expand and we evolve, where then we understand that those labels aren't really relevant, and we get down to like the core of things, to the root of things. And that's basically what this is. So this is what, you know, I was being guided to share today, as kind of like another piece of yesterday's video that I shared. So it's an understanding that what you're gaining is knowledge, right? When you learn to allow yourself to be that level of honesty, and to really look at the programs and belief systems that have been what's guided you through your life, you gain that knowledge, right? And then through the knowledge, then you dive into the wisdom of it. And through the wisdom is where the deep awakening of healing begins. So, and again, please understand, this is not for blame. This is not for criticism. This is not for you to sit there and bash yourself and think horrible things about yourself, or even about other people, right? Because everybody has a role to play, and everybody plays their role, even you. So that is just another piece of it all, right? So when you are in this work, diving deep, peeling back those layers, like we said, right? Peeling back the layers of that onion, and the onion makes you cry, sorry. It's okay, then cry, and be aware of what is being presented to you, and use that to support yourself and nurture yourself and move through what is like shackles holding you down, and seeing what you have allowed for so long that is unhealthy. And that's the part of this, is that's what we recognize as we understand these, is how we haven't shown up for ourselves, how we haven't been the rock that we need for ourselves, you know, and how we have allowed others to treat us for so long. You know, these are all things that this brings to the surface, like I've been saying, and this only brings forward more deep healing and empowerment. That's what this is all about. As much as it's painful and uncomfortable, and we don't want to see ourselves in that light and recognize, oh, I've been codependent, I've been a martyr, I've been a victim, you know, I lack self-esteem, I lack self-confidence, I lack self-worth. Yes, it hurts to have those things brought to the surface. It's hard to, it hurts to know that about yourself, but it's also understanding that that's not you. And in recognizing that and having that knowledge now, you can use that to gain wisdom, empowerment, and move forward and through, and be the version of yourself that you know is there and is meant to be, that is in alignment and fills your heart and makes you light up. And that begins to happen as you recognize these this darkness, I guess, even though we need the shadow, right? Like I said, we need the shadow, we need the light. We are both those things. And it's only in recognizing and seeing where you've led yourself walk the path of that darkness, do you then begin to shine brightly within you, and it resonates and like it vibrates out of you because you've done that deep inner healing and understanding, and you're gaining that self-love and self-respect for yourself. And that's how you show up for yourself from that moment on. I'm going to leave that here. Thank you so much for being here, surrounding you all in love. As always, your presence is always appreciated. Have a wonderful day.